All right, we're back. We have top stitched the center. I never told you why I use the same fabric inside and outside on this one. It's because if I were to use white here and I didn't get it exactly lined up, you would end up seeing this white here. If you're going to put appliques and stones and stuff there, it may not matter as much, but if you're just going to leave it open or just do like stones around here, then you might see it. So I would recommend doing the same. Another option is you could take your lining and sew a piece of this fabric just here so that it's the same color if you really want to use your own lining. The easiest thing for me is to just cut two of the front. Okay, so what have we done? These are the cuffs. We sew short ends together and then fold them in half so you have a cuff. And then I gathered up, I sewed the underarm seam, serged the underarm seam, and then I run a gathering basting stitch 1/2 inch from the edge and gather up the cuff edge of the sleeve. And then I always zigzag the ends of my cuff together. It just makes it easier for me to deal with and less fidgety when I try to sew this mess together. So just run a zigzag along the edge, and then when you serge it on, just cut that and it'll pop the stitches. And zigzag makes a really great basting stitch for stretchy fabrics, because once you cut it with the serger, it releases any of that tension that would be in there and makes it super stretchy. Because sometimes a zigzag is stretchy, but sometimes it can diminish some of the stretch. So if you just cut it with the serger when you sew that on, it'll get rid of that. And then I just pin this on here, and I'll be sewing this on, and I'll show you that in the next step. It's a little fidgety, I'm not gonna lie. This is a little fidgety. When you go to sew this on, put your serger on this side and serge it this way. If you need to zigzag it or put a basting stitch in it first, that works too. If you want to do a basting stitch 1/2 inch from here, and then when you serge this on, you'll catch all the layers, and then pull the basting stitch out when you're done. That works too. I have my bands. And what I like to do for these bands is you fold your strip in half and then just serge it along the edge, just like that. And I did the same thing for the next strap, which will go up here. And when I did this one, I just turned it right side out. It makes it so nice and tidy, and I think that's why I like it so much. So when we put this on here, any of the unfinished edges, which there will be some at the shoulder seam, it'll be nice and finished. You won't have like all the crazy on the bottom or whatever, and I'll show you how to finish that. Okay, so I'll turn this right side out for the under bust band. That's what this is. And the other thing I've done is I sewed the back piece on. So I have the other back piece right here. And what I like to do is I like to sandwich this piece in between my inner and my outer front. So the easiest way to do this is attach it like you're going to sew it, and then I just flip this over top like this, okay? And then serge this in one seam. And what you get when you're done with that is you get a very nice finished seam on the inside and the outside, and your seam allowance is hidden in the front. And I just think it looks really nice and tidy on the inside. It makes it more comfortable. And if at all possible, I try to do that with all of my bodices, is try to catch that seam in between the lining and the outer fabric, just to make it nice and clean on the inside and more comfortable to wear for people that are fidgety or uncomfortable with seams, and sometimes the serging can be a little scratchy. So this way there's none of that. It's just all tidied up. Okay, so when I come back, I'll have this one done, and the sleeves will have their cuffs on them, and I'll have turned this right side out, and we'll move on to what's next.